Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be locked in, so clear, so connected, and they are just confident and out there? And it appears as though their whole life just pops out of a magazine. These are the people who have spent intentional time cultivating a life by design. What does that mean? It means that they have taken a moment to gather the clarity around what is the life that is most aligned for them. So today I want to talk to you about what are the first three questions I can ask myself. How do I design a life that matches who I am? This is about stepping into alignment, stepping into our purpose, and giving ourselves permission with the full clarity and understanding that we are creators, we are designing, and life by design happens the moment we choose to create with intention and become clear about what it's going to take to do that, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Um, I've created a nervous system regulation. It's a meditation, and it's something that can help you drop in and lock this concept in. It's something that can ground you, bring you back to who you are. And if you just comment on this video or send us a little message, we're going to get that to you. Just comment reset. One of the things that happens is when we are out in the world, we get busy and we get chaotic. And when we are wanting to create a life by design, it is all about coming back to the self, being grounded, being regulated. And so this little tool that I've created that can be in your back pocket is available to you. It's super easy, and I want to send that to you. So just comment reset, and we're going to make sure to do that. But I want to talk to you. I want to make sure I give you these three journal prompts, and I'm pulling up my notes here because I don't want to mess it up because they're really juicy and yummy. But the first question you really need to ask yourself is, what are the parts of my life that really like feel like me, you know? And so like if I was answering this question, I would say the parts of my life that feel like me are being in the country, being in nature, being with horses, being able to cook beautiful farm to table meals, being with my daughter. Those are the things that really feel like me. And the other parts that feel a little bit more like I'm doing this because the performance aspect, right? And so if you can separate authenticity with obligation and really start to see, where am I in alignment? Where am I living out of this desire for approval, or I'm trying to meet an expectation, or I'm in survival mode? Like, if you can start to gather clarity around what are the parts of my life that feel like me, and what are the parts that are like just kind of like conditions that have been put upon me, or expectations, or whatever it is. So that's question number one. And it's so important that we do this and we take the time to do this, because if we continue to live our lives out of alignment, if we continue to forage a path that isn't in full like drop down juicy gooey, like this is who I am, we're gonna start to really shrink, and ultimately it's the slowest, most painful death you'll ever go through. So let's not do that. The second question that I want you to think about and contemplate here, if nothing and no one had any opinion about anything that you did, what would you do next? Like if nobody had a voice, like if like you had earmuffs on, you had blinders on, like if no one else could be involved, what would you do? Because this question bypasses the fear, the noise, the conditioning, the I should do this, the good girl, the, whatever. It is usually the number one thing that will help expose the thing that you've been hiding from, the thing that you're shying away from. And when we like close our eyes and we get out of our head and we drop into our heart and we really start to gather the authenticity that lives in the heart space, this is the juicy yummy. Like, this is the meat of creating a life that you want. is because you eliminate the noise and you come back to the self and you really lock it in because it's coming from the heart versus the head. So that's the second question. What would you do if there was like if the fear didn't exist, if there was no noise, if like you weren't worried about being a good girl, what would you do? What would you create? Oh, it's such a fun question, actually, and it's tough because you might be able to answer that question, um, but it's going to be hard to create it. And that is one of the things I love to do with my clients is we drop into the heart, we identify what it is, the thing, and then we get to create it. And it's really, really beautiful to be able to walk with people on that path. If you want to know more about that, my coaching practice and how I support entrepreneurs and executives live a life by design, send me a DM or an email. I'm happy to connect with you on that. Again, also go to that reset, like comment reset, and we're going to send you the link, or go to the link in my bio, because the reset is all about coming back to the self, regulating the nervous system, getting the breath involved, getting like the self kind of like grounded and clear about where you are. So that you can shut out the noise and really gain that internal awareness. Okay, third and final question is, what am I tolerating that is costing me my joy, my energy, or my peace? This question is so good. And as a woman who just left everything that she knew, blew up her entire life, I realized that there was so much of my life that I was tolerating to keep the peace, but ultimately it was costing me my peace. And so it doesn't mean that you have to like blow up your life, right? But what are you tolerating because you don't want to rock the boat? And like, if you can start to gain a little clarity around this, you're going to be able to start creating more of an aligned life. Because when we know what isn't working, we know what is working, because it's usually the opposite of what isn't working. So this will kind of help you see what maybe you can start shifting, or getting curious around, so that you can create a little more spaciousness to dive into the life that you want to have. And so it doesn't mean there's more to do. Maybe there's less to do. I'm not sure, but only you can answer those questions. So I hope that this has helped you drop into your heart, understand that only you can create these questions and these pictures and these things that you see when you look at other people's Instagrams or YouTubes or Facebooks, and you're like, man, they're like living this amazing life. How did they do that? It's because they took a minute to really get some clarity around what is for them and what's not for them. So give yourself permission and make sure you stay tuned, because this YouTube is all about coming back to the self, getting aligned, and living your best life.